New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako. Enjoy Good Life new shopping experience. Seek and you shall find. Visit www.goodlife.co.ke to shop. Search and pick your preferred product. Check out and give your location details. Pick your payment method and wait for your delivery to arrive. It's quick. Click and pick.
Welcome to Insignia Service Center, a state-of-the-art service center that offers diagnostics, repairs, wheel balancing and alignment, and a fully fledged high-quality paint booth. Specializing in 7 brands, we are a 360-degree customer value chain that promises quality service, competent personnel, pricing transparency, and best price guarantee. Bring your car over today for a free courtesy check. We are located at Karen Road, Kabwagi area. Insignia Group, consistent excellence.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
This is NTV.
Good evening. With a couple of minutes to the top of the hour, let's have a look at how the news is shaped up on this February the 8th, 2021. Tonight, in a battle for hearts and minds, the generals are strengthening their bastions. Odinga makes the case for the BBI.
People will work together with the rest of the country to create a leadership that will be able to implement what is contained in BBI.
And the DP's allies pledge to put their money where their mouths are.
We are going to be seeing a lot of pro-hustler proposals and legislation.
Meanwhile, the ruling party cracked the whip on errant members. 6 nominated senators have been given the boot over indiscipline. Plus, she was thrown out of a moving vehicle and left for dead.
Alitolewa kwa kiti yake hapa hivi kando, akavurutwa, akaanguka chini, akagongwa nyuma hapa.
Now, police are hunting down the monsters that caused her death. And also tonight, troops on alert. British soldiers in Kenya on lockdown amid a COVID-19 outbreak and fears they could have brought in the fast-spreading UK strain.
NTV Tonight with Mark Masai.
Glad you could join us for NTV Tonight. We're with Flora Atieno on the sign language interpretation. I believe that's right. My director Jackson will give me that. Yes, it is. Thank you, dear, for joining us, and thank you for making this all the more worthwhile. We start with politics. Members of Parliament allied to Deputy President William Ruto have given the clearest signal yet that they are ready to leave the Jubilee nest and find a new home as the 2022 election approaches. In what is viewed as a strategy to deny the Jubilee Party cash, over 130 MPs want their monthly contributions to the party channeled to a new welfare group that will support their countrywide activities. They also want the Deputy President's security to be strengthened. NTV senior political affairs reporter Kennedy Mureithi starts us off.
As the relationship between President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto continue to become fragile, the DP's key allies within Jubilee are also beginning to drift further away from the party. At a meeting today, legislators allied to Ruto's cause announced a consensus to deny the Jubilee Party their monthly contribution and channel it elsewhere. Though the information was not communicated at a press conference they held Monday afternoon, it is understood the legislators have agreed that out of the 10,000 shillings deducted from each of them monthly as a contribution to the Jubilee Party, only 50 shillings will go to the party, while the rest will be channeled elsewhere. NTV has seen letters written by some of the legislators to both clerks of Parliament, instructing them to start deductions on March 1st. According to sources within the meeting, the monies deducted will now go into funding the Hustler movement activities countrywide, as well as empower those in need. To this end, the legislators have started a movement known as the Kazi ni Kazi Welfare Group, which they say the monies will be going to at the end of every month.
As a caucus, we agreed to focus our energies in championing of pro-people bills.
In this country, so many people for so long are used to a top-down approach. We realize the agony of them trying to get used to a bottoms-up approach.
We remain, as a group, we remain committed and focused on the people's needs, and these include the revival of the economy.
The legislators further agreed that from now on, they will chart a different course from that being advanced by the government in Parliament, choosing to focus on the common man narrative. The caucus has also resolved to review some of the laws passed in Parliament, as well as introduce fresh legislation aimed at uplifting Mwananchi.
It is time to place the issues that affect the people at the bottom pyramid of our country on the table and make sure we come up with policies and come up with legislation that will help improve this lot of people who are the majority in the country.
The caucus did not give a clear direction regarding the Building Bridges initiative and where their supporters should stand. Instead, the legislators questioned the process this far and criticized the methods the government is using to push the initiative through.
So we're telling our competitors and those who are pushing the BBI agenda that if it is in the interest of the people of Kenya, in your opinion, why do you want to use intimidation? Why do you want to blackmail people? Why do you want to use force? Why do you want to detain people? Why do you want to bribe the MCS? Why do you want to use state organs?
The MPs are also concerned about how their political gatherings are being treated by the state and want the international community to be vigilant about the political situation in the country.
The evil scheme, which began with a targeted withdrawal of security of members of parliament, has now been extended to total withdrawal of official security coverage by police officers at meetings attended by the deputy president.
The MPs insist the state has neglected the deputy president and is no longer providing enough security at his meetings.
We also demand that the Inspector General of Police takes charge and ensures that all officers deployed at political meetings, rallies, by-elections, and indeed all other electoral events are in official uniform and have their service numbers and names prominently displayed on their badges.
Though claims of threats to the lives of some members of the Hustler movement are unsubstantiated, there are those who believe that as the electioneering mood kicks in, the security apparatus are moving far and far away. Kennedy Mureithi, NTV in Nairobi County.
But putting the House in order politically now, the Jubilee Party, meanwhile, has called for a parliamentary group meeting tomorrow, right after the party suspended 6 nominated senators on what they've termed disciplinary grounds for violation of the party's constitution. Senators Isaac Mwaura, Mary Iyane, Wako Naomi Jilo, Millicent Omanga, Prengel Victor, and Iman Falhada Deko have been suspended by the party. And according to the Jubilee Party Secretary General Raphael Tuju, the expulsion has been communicated to the Senate and the Registrar of Political Parties. According to Tuju, the National Management Council of Jubilee Party met today and deliberated on the expulsion of these 6 who have appeared before the party's disciplinary committee. The 6 are part of a team that has been perceived as advancing the Deputy President William Ruto's agenda. The parliamentary group meeting tomorrow is likely to discuss the latest suspension of as well as the conduct of the Senate Majority Chief Whip Irungu Kang'ata after he warned party leader President Uhuru Kenyatta of dismal popularity of the BBI in the Mount Kenya region. The meeting will also discuss the legislative agenda of the government in this new session of Parliament. That's not all. In terms of putting houses in order, the leader of the Orange Democratic Movement, Raila Odinga, has dismissed talks that he is being fattened for slaughter by his handshake partner, President Uhuru Kenyatta, terming such claims as cheap talk being peddled by enemies of the Building Bridges initiative. Raila made the remarks as members of his ODM party mandated him to renew and strengthen his working relationship with President Kenyatta. Okukusa reports.
It was during the consultative meeting called by ODM to discuss and chart the way forward for the Building Bridges initiative that the Orange Party leader chose to put an end to the used and dumped talk.
These are empty sloganeering which have no meaning for the people of Kenya. But what we are having here is something that is serious, that will liberate our people. And that is the journey we want to walk together.
His party members would later augment his decision to partner with President Kenyatta in a 9-point declaration reached by over 800 delegates from Lower Nyanza region.
To renew and strengthen his working relationship with President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and give the President the support and backing he needs to deliver to Kenyans.
The meeting also resolved to delink the handshake and the BBI from the 2022 election politics and to allow the government and the president to continue with the task of delivering critical services to Kenyans.
Beyond BBI, then 2022 will come and people will decide. Our people will decide. Our people will work together with the rest of the country.
Others who addressed the gathering hit at the Deputy President William Ruto for opposing the BBI with what they termed as baseless claims.
Usikuje hapa katikati, Johnny come lately, you want to tell us what the BBI should have, what it should not have, yet for 2 years the BBI team were collecting views.
He has been consistent in opposing devolution.
It is Ruto with his project which he initiated to corruptly acquire wealth that has brought this country to where we are.
Wapi vigelegele Kisumu?
Okukusa, NTV.
A lot of focus on the BBI. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has temporarily been stopped from facilitating and subjecting the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020, popularly known as a BBI bill, to a referendum. A 5-judge bench hearing the petitions against the BBI says that the order will remain in force until 7 petitions filed by different individuals and rights advocacy groups challenging the process of amending the Constitution through the BBI are heard and determined. Justices Joel Ngoge, George Odunga, Jairus Nga, Janet Mulwa and Enoch Mwita explained that their decision is to preserve and prevent the petitions from being rendered nugatory should the very constitutional amendments they are challenging take place. While ruling on 2 applications filed by the Turkana County Assembly and the Third Way Alliance Party seeking to halt the constitutional amendment process, the court stated that if the referendum is passed, the substram of the petitions will be rendered an academic exercise. The family of a woman who was allegedly pushed out of a moving passenger service vehicle in Juja, leading to her death, is seeking justice as police commence a search for the driver and tout of the matatu, who have since gone into hiding. The matatu, belonging to the Member Travelers Sacco, has meanwhile been impounded at a police station in Mwea as investigations into the incident continue. Zainab Ismail reports.
On the evening of Saturday, the 6th of February, Judy Wanjiku boarded a matatu in Juja, plying the Nairobi-Mwea route. But her trip took a brutal turn when a confrontation ensued between her and the driver and tout of the matatu over payment.
Dereva alitoka kutoka mkono yake, alikuwa mpaki gari hapa. Kutoka mkono yake alikuja akashika madamu. Madamu alikuwa amekaa kiti ya mbele. Alikuwa anamrusha. Naona ndio sisi tukafika. Kufika dereva akarudi. Akawasha gari. Na unaona madamu alikuwa hapo na mimi niko hapo. Saa mlango ndio ilitugonga. Yeye aligongeshwa hii pavement, mimi nikagongeshwa chini.
Ilikuwa ni kama alikuwa na maumivu juu, alikuwa anashikilia kichwa. Nikimuuliza ama kuna pahali pa amegongwa, yeye tu anashika kichwa akilia.
Vile nilikuja hapa nilipata kama alikuwa amefaint, vile nilielezwa, alafu akaanza kustabilize nikiwa tu hapa, nikamchukua tukaenda hospitali.
Judy would later complain of severe migraines, prompting her family to rush her to the Thika Level 5 hospital.
Siku ya kuamkia jana, sasa Sunday, akabishiwa kidogo na mtoto wangu mdogo. Akaitwa, hakuitika. So bibi yangu akafungua mlango, akapata amelala chini. Hakuwa anajisikia unconscious. Kumfikisha hospitali Thika Level 5, although tulipitia Equity Afya, nikaambiwa na daktari ameaga.
The family of the deceased spent most of Monday combing through the scene of the incident and talking to eyewitnesses to get a better sense of what really happened. Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutyambai has said the police are following the case, assuring that action will be taken against the two involved in the incident. The vehicle, registration number KCZ729C, has now been impounded at Wanguru Police Station in Mwea.
The tout was demanding for more payment of the bus fare, of which they were disputing about the payment. So from that alteration with the driver, the deceased was pushed away from the vehicle and she fell down. She sustained injuries on her head and also on the hands.
The police have asked members of the public to be on the lookout for the driver, Stanley Macharia, and the tout. Meanwhile, Judy Wanjiku's body has been preserved at the Thika Level 5 hospital mortuary. Zainab Ismail, NTV.
Those responsible for these claims, if indeed they are responsible, they can run, but they can't hide. Even if from the authorities, they will know no peace. Now, if you failed your national exams, don't panic. That's according to the Education Cabinet Secretary, Professor George Magoha, who said the government is well aware of the effects that being out of school for months had on them. Speaking in Mwiki earlier today, where he was distributing masks, the Education CS stated that the ministry has mapped out children that have yet to report to school, the majority being girls. The CS has directed school-going girls that are pregnant to sit for the examinations next month, adding that they will be rehabilitated and should not fear the stigma.
So the exam is being given. We know that you are not at school for 9 months. And our job as teachers is to pick what you have in your brain, not what you don't have.
And that's not all from the professor, as cases of arson continue to come under heavy fire from education stakeholders. Professor George Magoha has stated that any child above the age of 8 that commits a criminal offense will have to be tried before the law. Magoha adds that teachers have been discovering more cases of attempted arson in school, as some students have been caught pouring fuel on mattresses with the intention of setting them alight. He has called for more vigilance in schools and for police officers to play an active role in bringing the culprits to book.
Children will not get away with it. We have already told them in public that there is going to be a database that will follow them. It's a matter of choice. There is no need for hopelessness. People are saying, oh, the parents are going to, of course they are going to pay. Because you should tell your child why he should never think of banning a school, even if you are annoyed like what?
At concerns of a new strain of the COVID-19 virus in Kenya, and the British Army training unit in Nanyuki has been closed indefinitely, and Kenyan staff is asked to work from home after troops who arrived from the UK back to Kenya have tested positive for COVID-19. The strain of the virus among those that have tested positive is still unknown.
An unspecified number of troops from the British Army training unit based in Nanyuki are now in quarantine and others in isolation to curb the spread of the virus. The Kenyan staff working at Batuk are now working from home to further protect the local community. The soldiers are on rations at the moment following the closure of the kitchen in one of the areas in the barracks identified as high risk. The gymnasium is also out of bounds, and a number of soldiers are now sleeping in tents to reduce the spread of the virus within the military camp. It is not, however, clear if the troops have tested positive for the new strain of the virus identified in the UK, which is responsible for a sharp increase in the number of new COVID-19 infections in the UK. The Army's website says it is following a number of procedures to prevent the spread of the virus during deployments as the camp is on an enhanced isolation. Eunice Omolo, NTV.
So I'll turn to the COVID-19 situation in the country as global infections surpass 106.2 million with over 2.3 million fatalities and 78.5 million recoveries. Now, today, 7 more patients succumbed to the virus, raising the death toll in Kenya to 1,786 from the latest round of testing on 1,953 samples. 125 people were found positive, raising the caseload in Kenya to over 101,900. On a good note, 112 more patients have recovered, making the cumulative number of those who have recovered now to over 84,400. We wish quick recovery to the 384 patients who are currently admitted in various health facilities countrywide and the 1,333 who are on home-based isolation and care, and especially the 39 patients who are in the intensive care unit. Why don't we give Flora Tieno time to rest her hands? She's been busy. Take a break. We'll be back shortly.
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates, because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Makeup is a passion for me. I love beauty. Nililearn skill ya makeup na watch tutorials kama YouTube na Instagram. Alafu nikaanza practice na mabeshte wangu, and with time I would take pictures of them and the page would grow. Now people started DMing me and asking me how much do I charge? So that's how I started my business. That's where I get most of my clients, like 70%. Mi hutumia 1 GB giga bundles ya mobile data statement imenichanua kujua vile kila app inatumia bundles zangu. So now I'm able to channel my bundles on the apps I need the most.
Dial *544# and select 7 for balance to get your data statement, and you'll get free 200 MBs for first-time access.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Heaviness and a burning inside, it could be heartburn.
Kiungulia na kuvimbiwa? Ino inatibu ndani ya sekunde 6 na inatuliza dalili 6 za kiungulia. Kwa hivyo unaweza kuburudika bila kikomo. Ino, tibu haraka kiungulia na tumbo kuvimba.
You have
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Why did you start telling everybody about my own problems? Do you realize what you've done?
But it's not like that. I just did it because I was really worried.
We had a fight and I resigned.
I don't understand what you mean.
Every day it's getting harder and harder to contain my emotions. But I still have to stay and make sure that the land has been secured.
I forbid you from giving my daughter's things away. Do you understand me?
You and I are not in the position to decide what to do with her things, because the only ones who can make that decision are my children.
No!
Along came love.
Gift your loved one a plot of value-added land at the Garden of Joy and get an instant 14K cash voucher for a 500K plus deposit. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Welcome back. The Anti-Corruption Court is set to rule whether former Chief Executive Officer of the National Health Insurance Fund, Richard Lagat Kirich, has a case to answer. This is after the prosecution closed the fraud case against the former CEO after calling a total of 39 witnesses. When the matter came up for mention before trial magistrate Lawrence Mugambi, he was informed that the prosecution will not be calling any more witnesses. The court directed the defense to file their defense within a period of 14 days. Kirich was charged alongside 5 other accused persons in the year 2013. They were accused of defrauding the state corporation of over 116 million shillings for a tender for the provision of a medical scheme for servants. The case will be mentioned on the 25th of March this year. To a major milestone in healthcare now, and the Kenyatta National Hospital is celebrating a successful surgery in cardiology. A team led by cardiologist Dr. Naomi Gashara performed a delicate procedure to treat a congenital heart defect on 18-year-old Mary Wajiko. The surgery involved accessing Mary's heart from her leg, making way through major blood vessels using x-rays to insert a device across the heart to close a hole in her heart. The condition, patent ductus arteriosus, I believe I've gotten that right, occurs when the hole fails to naturally close shortly after birth. Once a baby breathes in oxygen, the open hole leads by symptoms like fatigue.
Partly because it was a bit difficult to access her vessels, but once we got the vessels, everything went smoothly.
Mimi nilikuwa napanda pahali na hema nashindwa hadi kupumua. Nasema hii ndio mwisho wangu, but Mungu amenipea second chance to live. Mimi ningesema ni asanti, na wenye wanaogopa wasiogope. Juu Mungu wako na niye daktari mkuu.
Oh, we celebrate with you, Ajiko, and Dr. Naomi Gashara and team. Bless your hearts. Now, the Kenya Defense Forces has warned Kenyans against falling prey to fraudsters who rip them off their money with the promise of getting them slots into the KDF. The military, which began its recruitment for servicemen in 6 cadres of service today, says in the past, fraudsters have taken advantage of the drives. The 2021 recruitment seeks to fill 4,400 slots for 3 disciplines, an exercise that will run between the 8th and 19th of February 2021. Layla Mohammed has the details.
The call to duty in service to flag and country has always attracted many, but making the cut is not for the faint-hearted. Only the chosen ones live out their dream. And with the bar set high, some are reported to do whatever it takes to secure a place. The KDF has warned that any mischievousness in this year's recruitment will be met with the full force of the civilian and military law.
Corruption malpractices related to the KDF recruitment exercise over the last 1 year indicate that 106 cases were reported in the previous exercise held between 27th November and 13th December 2019. Of these, 101 cases involved civilians and the remaining 5 involved service personnel.
In order to maintain transparency objectively, the KDF recruitment will be overseen and monitored by the EACC, the NIS, and Transparency International. Just like years past, many turned out in large numbers hoping to meet the set criteria. Each of the 47 counties will have their day to find the best to serve. The KDF says the exercise will be conducted in 337 gazetted sub-counties.
GSO cadets, GSO cadet undergraduate degree holders, GD recruits, and the constables. Today also marks the last day for specialist officers and tradeswomen to submit their applications to the Defense Headquarters.
Other than requiring an applicant to have a national ID and not have dual citizenship, an age limit of 26 for those seeking to become general service officers and 30 for those seeking to be specialist officers has been set. After a year's hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the military is expecting to recruit 4,400 Kenyans to serve in different disciplines. Leila Mohammed, NTV.
Well, here's a new way on how you'll be getting those stories and more moving forward. The Nation Media Group has launched a paywall for the Nation.Africa product just days after the brand was nominated for the IF Design Award through its campaign video. Within 5 months of its inception, Nation.Africa has managed to record well over 200,000 subscribers, which is a major milestone in the company's journey towards digital transformation. As the company is focused on shifting its business model from solely relying on advertising to a reader revenue model, the group CEO Stephen Gitagama has assured the consumers that the content will be in depth with the company upholding its journalistic values.
With an aim to grow and sustain the online reader revenue model, a huge percentage of the content on Nation.Africa will remain free, while special investigative reports and products that require considerable investment to produce will be accessed at a fee.
The paywall will allow readers to access premium content, content that is of use to them, content that is truthful, content that they can rely on, and content that is well researched.
In order for one to be able to access the premium content, one can pay as low as 50 shillings to as much as 750 shillings for an annual subscription, with the mode of payment being mobile money. The paywall navigation is very simple. For registration, one just needs to sign in, click on any article, choose a payment plan, and subscribe.
The core player is the consumer or the customer. In the past, we used to say content is king, but I think now the consumer is king.
The way our business is funded is changing fundamentally. The technology that we apply in our business is changing. Even the story itself, which is the basic unit of our trade, is now different.
Nation Media Group plans to shift to a modern digital business model, targeting the digital space across the region. The company has also received some of its editorial policies to define the editorial standards and professional ethics underpinning Nation Media Group's journalism and commitment to media freedom. Nation.Africa's campaign video has been nominated as one of the finalists for the IF Design Award 2021, alongside other brands such as Siemens and Virgin Galactic. The firm behind the campaign design, Moro BV, said the concept behind the campaign video was to incorporate the younger and older audiences to empower Africans.
Join us.
Helen Aura, NTV.
Make the switch and click on or sign in. That's it for this section. We get into the business side of things after the break.
Here we are, living in the moment. And here we are, dreaming in the open. Now look around, isn't this a new day? Make a move, doing things a new way. A new way. 'Cause this is our world, and This is our time. These are our plans. We're gonna let them shine. This is our place in the human race. And we won't stop dreaming. No, we won't stop dreaming.
Build your tomorrow today. Tononoka Group, at the core of every construction.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Maji mdosi wangu ametupa simu yangu ndani ya maji.
Mdosi wako kwa sawa. Venye Nkirota ameniambia ajui na akimpigia simu ashiki. Hi, guy, what
For the women who deserve more, Moped is now in Kenya and more than 40 countries. With its nylon-free surface, new Moped has unique softness and up to 100% protection. Your skin will love it.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
From far with you. I even gifted you a magnificent house. Rosa, it's the thought that counts. Please help me.
When it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Panadol Baby and Infant, tough on fever, gentle on your child.
Welcome back, and we continue with business. Kenya is racing against time to contain the desert locust invasion before the beginning of the long rains season in March, which could offer a conducive environment for the pests to thrive. At least 20 counties have so far been affected in the second wave of the invasion, which began in November 2020. The government, however, says inadequate resources for ground control efforts and the migratory nature of the pests could still stand on the way of containing the invasion in the short term. Victor Kiprop reports.
This is the second consecutive year that desert locusts are ravaging different parts of East Africa, intensifying environmental damage and putting food security at risk.
That those areas is the planting season coming. So there is no real immediate danger now. The danger is if we don't do something, and then the plants, they plant, and then when the seedlings are ready, the locusts come. That will be devastating to the situation.
At least 20 counties have already been invaded, with 121 of the 200 reported swarms sprayed. But experts fear that the long rain season, which begins in March, could create a conducive environment for the locusts to multiply. Last month, the Food and Agriculture Organization FAO, one of the government's key partners in fighting the invasion, warned that funding shortfalls could derail the aerial fight against the invasion and roll back on the gains already registered.
To have the aircraft really flying and spraying, the ground control, as the minister said, the training, it really requires resources. So we'll continue appealing and we're sure that we'll have a good response.
Even if Kenya was to succeed in containing the invasion before March, lack of a coordinated regional approach to the invasion remains a challenge.
We are only in control of what is happening within Kenya. Since we don't control what happens elsewhere, we can't tell you until we clear the locusts that are here. That's the end of the problem. Because it's a migratory, locusts are migratory pests. They move with speed from one place to another. They don't respect administrative or country boundaries.
Victor Kiprop, NTV Business.
The journey from Nairobi to Lokichogio by road is one that in the past has had numerous tales of misadventure owing to the difficulty associated with navigating the stretch from Kitale to Lokichogio. A 38 billion shilling project financed by the World Bank and the government of Kenya is now transforming the ease of access of the northwestern part of Kenya. Alex Mwangi toured the progress of the Eastern Africa Trade, Transport and Facilitation Project and brings you this report.
The 514-kilometer journey from Kitale to Lokichogio has through the years been a tough stretch to navigate. The journey up north has been the preserve of four-wheel drive vehicles, given the rough terrain and the multiple river crossings. Even with such a car, one was not guaranteed of making it to their destination, be it Lodwar or Lokichogio.
We didn't have a single bridge, with the exception of Kainuk Bridge and the bridge on Takwel River at Lodwar. For the entire stretch of between Kainuk and the border is about 430 kilometers. There are only two bridges.
Thus far, the Eastern Africa Trade, Transport and Facilitation Project has transformed the 338-kilometer stretch from Lokichar to Nakodok, the border between Kenya and South Sudan. Nakodok is a further 36 kilometers from Lokichogio.
It included improving of critical infrastructure of about 350 kilometers between Lokichar and the border with South Sudan and Kainuk Bridge. And it also included improvement of the internet connectivity or internet infrastructure between Eldoret and the border with South Sudan. Besides that, we were also supposed to do some trade facilities at the border, courtesy of KRA.
This 38 billion shilling project will help to improve the economic prospects of towns and centers located along Lokichar all the way to Lokichogio. It will also afford the opportunity for sleepy centers such as Nayanaingi Kalalio to wake up from their slumber and hopefully reach their full economic potential. For Turkana County, the benefits of the 38 billion shilling project, that is 84% financed by the World Bank and 16% by the government of Kenya, are innumerable.
When the road was being constructed, there was a lot of employment for the locals, especially youth and women. People did direct business with Kenya, and especially the subcontractors and who were doing the stone pitching for the road. And I'm sure now it is still continuing as the last final touches for the A1 road.
Thanks to the project, which is 72% complete, no longer will those journeying to Lokichogio or beyond to Nakodok spend days on the road.
Ulikuwa unalala, unatoka hapo, maybe umetoka usubuhi, utafika kesho kuta, maybe 2 days. Ufike barabarani, maybe barabara ni mbaya, imeharibika, mmelala pale, mko na kiu, hakuna maji, chakula hakuna, watu wanalala, so it was bad. Lakini saizi ukitoka saizi usubuhi, by saa 8 ushafika nyumbani, umeshafika Kitale. Ama watu wa Nairobi wameshafika by tuseme saa 9, wameshafika Nakuru, mtu amefika Nairobi, amefika mapema sana.
Kwa sababu barabara imekuwa nzuri, tumeanza kuona gari kama shuttle. Hizi gari ndogo zikikuja sasa bei karudi chini kidogo. At least saizi kitambo ilikuwa ni kama iko fixed. Kutoka au Kitale ilikuwa inajulikana, kwanza kutoka kama Kitale kuna siku tulikuwa naambiwa hata 1000 kutoka kama kufika Kitale, lakini saizi hata 1500, 1300.
Besides having a variety of socio-economic benefits, the project being implemented by the Kenya National Highways Authority, KENHA, also has a technological component to it. the installation of fiber optic along the entire corridor.
We have an underground cable between Eldoret all the way to Lokichar. Then from Lokichar we have aerial for a distance of about 90 kilometers to Lodwar. And then beyond Lodwar we have done a signal, what they will call microwave.
Of the 338 kilometers being rehabilitated, only the 40-kilometer stretch from Lokichar to Loichangamatak is expected to be completed next year, since the contract for the section was handed later than the rest of the lots. Work on the majority of the corridor is slated for completion this year. Alex Mwangi, NTV.
On the Air and Transport Cabinet Secretary James Macharia says that the National Aviation Management Bill 2020 is a top priority in Parliament ahead of the resumption of these sessions this week. Macharia says the bill, which seeks to merge Kenya Airways and the Kenya Airports Authority, is a way to go to transform Kenya's aviation assets into more competitive instruments. Macharia spoke during a ceremony by Kenya Airways to mark the repurposing of one of its Dreamliners into a cargo plane, or what is nowadays identified as a freighter. Kenya Airways Chief Executive Alan Kilavuka says the company is ready to play its part in distributing vaccines locally and across the continent. He says that the distribution of vaccines is one of the reasons for the repurposing of the aircraft. As we touch down for this business bulletin, let's look at what you can expect in the leading business paper. In tomorrow's Business Daily, you'll read about how rebounding oil prices have renewed inflation threats as consumers bear the burden of rising food and fuel prices since last quarter of 2020. So get your copy of the Business Daily tomorrow for that and more. And I see, yes, some red, and Valentine's is on the way. Thank God my wife is not a big fan of the holiday, so expenses will not be that much, and hopefully she's not watching. That's it for business.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Welcome to Insignia Service Center, a state-of-the-art service center that offers diagnostics, repairs, wheel balancing and alignment, and a fully fledged high-quality paint booth. Specializing in 7 brands, we are a 360-degree customer value chain that promises quality service, competent personnel, pricing transparency, and best price guarantee. Bring your car over today for a free courtesy check. We are located at Karen Road, Kabwagi area. Insignia Group, consistent excellence.
From your first day at school to you captaining your soccer team, no matter how old you are, you'll always be my baby. That's why I trust Dettol to clean, protect, and keep you refreshed every day. I still can't believe how quickly you've grown. Dettol, tested effective against COVID-19.
All the days and the nights, reading for them and to them. You don't stop, and neither do we. Help build a strong foundation for your growing child with Nestle Nunkid. Nestle Nunkid 4. Our best for you.
New Year comes with New Year deals. Renew your corporate subscription and get a bonus. Subscribe to Nation e-paper for 3 months and get 1 week absolutely free. 6 months and get 2 weeks absolutely free. 1 year and get 3 weeks absolutely free. To sign up, visit epaper.nationmedia.com or email subscription@ke.nationmedia.com. Offer valid till 28th February 2021.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
We continue NTV tonight with some regional news across the border. And Somalia faces a leadership crisis as President Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed Farmajo's term, ended with no clear path towards elections, and an alliance of opposition parties declared they no longer recognized his authority. The Horn of Africa nation was supposed to choose the next president on February 8th, that's today, but the deadline passed as the central government and federal states failed to break a deadlock over how to proceed with the vote. The country now confronts a constitutional crisis alongside a violent Islamist insurgency, a locust invasion, and serious food shortage. The opposition alliance, which includes the former president and other political heavyweights running for the next presidency, urged Farmajo to respect the constitution by standing aside and allowing for peaceful transfer of power, saying it will not accept any form of mandate extension through pressure. They call for the creation of a transitional national council made up of the speakers of parliament, opposition figures, regional leaders, and civil society groups to steer the country until elections can be held. And from Somalia, we now take a break again. It's time for sports, and we have plenty of stories, so stay with me.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Breaking news from Molfix. Let's see what they're developing right now.
Molfix pants with anatomic fit technology. New Molfix pants, an invention from babies for babies.
You should also try Molfix.
I trust Dettol to clean, protect, and keep you refreshed every day. I still can't believe how quickly you've grown. Dettol, tested effective against COVID-19.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
With the Stay Soft refill, saving money is as easy as snip, pour, mix with water, and shake. Stay Soft refill. It's 2 liters of Stay Soft for up to 30% less.
Allah came down
Why did you start telling everybody about my own problems? Do you realize what you've done?
But it's not like that. I just did it because I was really worried.
We had a fight, and I resigned.
I don't understand what you mean.
Every day it's getting harder and harder to contain my emotions. But I still have to stay and make sure that the land has been secured.
I forbid you from giving my daughter's things away. Do you understand me?
You and I are not in the position to decide what to do with her things, because the only ones who can make that decision are my children.
No!
Along came love.
Gift your loved one a plot of value-added land at the Garden of Joy and get an instant 14K cash voucher for a 500K plus deposit. Call us today on 0790 300 300.
Welcome to the sports. To the FKF Premier League for starters, and Mathare United registered their second win after beating visitors Nzoia Sugar 1-0 at Kasarani in Nairobi. James Kinyajui was the hero as his 55th minute strike brought to a halt Mathare's poor run this season. The Slum Boys had last tasted victory in the 18th of January when they beat Zoo FC 2-0 at the same venue. Mathare's slim win saw them move to 16th place on the log with 8 points, while Nzoia remain in 12th place with 11 points. At the same time, Ulinzi Stars picked their 8th draw of the season after battling to a 2-2 result with visitors Western Stima at Kericho Green Stadium. After leading the AFC Leopards to a goalless draw with their arch-rivals Gor Mahia at Kasarani Stadium, or Stadium, as some fans would say yesterday, acting head coach Anthony Modo Kimani has resigned. Modo has been acting coach twice, as the first time last season after the departure of Rwandan Andre Kasambugo, who is currently the coach of the Dockers, and the second when Thomas Trucha, a citizen of the Czech Republic, resigned. Modo, who defended the Leopard Castle during his tenure as captain, has been ousted as Ingwe is expected to introduce former Tanzanian Lions coach Patrick Auzims, a Belgium national. Auzims witnessed the AFC clash against Gor Mahia yesterday. Until Modo, all the best to whatever you take on next. Mwihoko sportive players received a major boost from gaming giant 555Bet, who donated football merchandise to them during a Desagu Super Cup that was held at the Githurai grounds. The gaming company was conducting a corporate social responsibility program that sought to nurture grassroots talent in the country. The initiative that kicked off in Githurai is expected to grace various parts of the country, according to 555Bet Chief Executive Officer Paolo Abinavoli. Meanwhile, Mwihoko supportive players are now motivated to produce stellar performances so as to impress and further attract more sponsors to support them. 555Bet are the sponsors of the 2008 Kenya Premier League champions Mathare United.
We are starting CSR programs with different organizations in Nairobi. Since we are already a sponsor of Mathare Football Club, our scope is also to give the possibility to minor leagues and minor teams, especially in the non-professional field, to have the possibility also to enjoy and to grow. We are also looking for talents.
Morocco is the 2021 African Cup of Nations champion. Morocco beat Mali 2-0 in the final at Ahmadou Ahidjo Stadium in Yaoundé, Cameroon. Atlas Lions goals were scored by Abdelmouna Boutoil and captain Ayoub El Khabi in the second half. Morocco have now clinched their second CHAN title after winning their first home title in 2018. They then beat Nigeria 4-0 in Casablanca. Guinea clinched third place by beating host Cameroon 2 goals without reply. Kenya will have a state-of-the-art gymnasium in Kasarani after World Boxing Federation President Umar Kremlev promised to fund its construction. And this is on his first visit to the country. He should probably visit more.
Kwanza tumshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kwa kuwa ni kitu la ajabu sana kumkaribisha rais wa ndondi dunia mzima Afrika. Kitu haijafanyika. So sisi tunasema ni asante, na tunajua kuwa kwanza amekuja na mazuri. Amekuja na kutengeneza gym. Na amesema atazuru kila nchi ya Afrika kuweza kuendeleza Afrika. Na amesema pia equipment ametuletea equipment nyingi sana. Kuna maglass zimeletwa leo, pads na vifaa mingi. Pia amesema kuna mchezo amesema sasa hivi kuna mchezo utachezwa hapa hivi karibuni kabla mwaka uishe.
Tomas Tuchel's unbeaten start as Chelsea manager continued as his side beat bottom-place Sheffield United 2-1 at Bramall Lane to move up to 5th in the Premier League table. Chelsea went ahead in the 43rd minute when Mason Mount found the bottom corner following Timo Werner's cross from the left. Sheffield levelled through Antonio Rudiger's own goal in the 54th minute before scored 3 minutes after coming off the bench as Barcelona came from behind to beat Real Betis 3-2 at Benito Villamarin. Betis took the lead through Borja Iglesias in the 38th minute before Messi, who was rested by manager Ronald Koeman, equalized in the 59th. Where we end NTV tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you to the team behind the scenes making this possible, and to Flora Atieno, who I see is in Valentine's mood already, setting the week on a tone with the red colors. Have yourself a good night. I'm Mark Masai.
This is NTV.
How many ways can you enjoy your Jameson? Well, with a taste so smooth, every pour is perfect for chilling, chatting, and connecting, and taking time out to toast life's little pleasures. So grab a glass and make room for others, because good taste doesn't have a time or place. Why? Smooth taste. That's why. Don't drink and drive. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Excessive consumption of alcohol is harmful to your health.
From far with you. I even gifted you a magnificent house. Rosa, it's the thought that counts. Please help me.
When it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Panadol Baby and Infant, tough on fever, gentle on your child.
A lot of K-love.
Why did you start telling everybody about my own problems? Do you realize what you've done?
But it's not like that. I just did it because I was really worried.
We had a fight, and I resigned.
I don't understand what you mean.
Every day it's getting harder and harder to contain my emotions. But I still have to stay and make sure that the land has been secured.
I forbid you from giving my daughter's things away. Do you understand me?
You and I are not in the position to decide what to do with her things, because the